I'm Keith, and welcome to week 3 of my weekly weight loss blog, Up the Peak. 3 weeks ago, I posted a video I called Day Zero. This was me at my worst, 407 pounds. It's not the worst of my life, but it's the worst recently. And I decided to declare war on my depression and my weight and to take control of my life again. I set a goal to lose almost 200 pounds, maybe a little over, with the objective of returning to Rocky Mountain National Park and climbing to the top of Long's Peak. It's something that I failed to do 15 years ago when I was in the prime of my life. Now pushing 40 and facing morbid obesity, I decided now is the time to take charge of things again. So what I do with this blog is I discuss my diet, I discuss my exercise, and I talk a little bit about whatever. I always keep the same core diet. Oatmeal, salad with some veggies and some chicken, and a grilled chicken dinner with some steamed veggies and usually a potato, either a sweet potato or a steamed potato, regular, with a little sour cream, maybe some cheese on it. I always keep those as the core foods, but I like to change up some of the meals to add a little variety to it. This last week, I got a little creative with breakfast. The week before, I made a English muffin pizza, and it was pretty good. I made it for pizza day. So this week, I decided to make a English muffin breakfast pizza. I used a high fiber Thomas English muffin. That's about 100 calories. I used an egg that I whipped up with a tablespoon of half and half, fat-free half and half. And then I dispersed the egg over the two English muffins. Now the good thing about the English muffin is when you're putting that egg in there, it just kind of seeps down in those little crevices, which is perfect for it. And then I put a slice of tomato on it, and then I put some mushrooms on it. Then I sprinkle some mozzarella cheese and some Velveeta cheese. Not a whole lot. It's all about the portions. You gotta limit the portions, but it's enough to where it's a little tasty breakfast pizza. Oh, and I sprinkle a little red pepper on top. It was a nice break from the oatmeal. It was a good treat. I really enjoyed it. Also, this week for lunch, I decided to change up my salad one day. I made a tuna wrap. I used a can of tuna fish, which is about 120 calories. I used a tablespoon of Hellmann's fat-free mayonnaise. I think I should have used two because it was a little dry with just the one. I think if I make it again, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons. It's an extra 35 calories, but I think it's worth it for the flavor. I also put down some nice leafy green veggies and some sliced tomato. I did heat up the wrap before I put everything in it. Helps it fold better. It was a pretty good lunch. One night for dinner this week, instead of having the grilled chicken with the steamed veggies, I used the same flatbread to make a flatbread pizza. It was a much bigger pizza than last week, and it was pretty filling. It was a really good treat. Now, these foods that I've been making to change up the diet, they are still low calorie, but they're a bit higher in the sodium. But as long as you stay under your levels for sodium, you're still good to go. And that's all under the MyFitnessPal. I cannot stress enough how valuable MyFitnessPal is. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, go back to week 1 when I talk about MyFitnessPal, and then go check out the site. It's like your greatest tool. It's free, it's online, and it helps you account for every calorie, every gram of sugar, every gram of protein and carbs that you put in your body. It will let you know. It will help you regulate that. So, MyFitnessPal. I don't work for them. I don't get any money from them. I'm just telling you that it's worth it. It's a good site. Check it out. This week for fitness, I was unable to do my laps at the track due to snow. So I found out that I should correct myself. I thought going to the fairgrounds was a mile and coming back would be a mile. It turns out it's over 0.9 miles. So it was just under 2 miles there and back. But going based on that from day 1, I still had an improvement in my time with day 2. Day 3, I got a little bit slow. Day 4, I picked up the pace again. Day 5, I took a hot tub day. Day 6, I was back to walking. I walked to the fairgrounds. I noticed the snow was clear, so I went to add an extra half mile to bring my walk up to almost 2.5 miles. While I was on the walk around the fairgrounds, I was greeted by a pleasant surprise. These awesome dogs came running out towards me. At first, I heard like this barking, and I kind of like froze. Like, what was that? You know, I always imagine weird stuff when I'm out on the walks. And when I heard the barking, my initial reaction was like, wolf. You know, obviously it wasn't a wolf. Wolf don't bark, but it was a nice little treat, but it also affected my time. I couldn't count that time because I was busy playing with the pups, and I chatted with their owners for quite a few minutes. So then I resumed the walk. So I didn't count the fairgrounds towards my time, but once I got to the certain point where I left the fairgrounds, I was back on the clock. Day 7 saw me do 6 laps at the fairgrounds, which is about 3 miles. I did it it was under 45 minutes, about 44 and a half, give or take. So I'm still maintaining a 4 mile per hour pace, which is great. I'm walking longer now, which helps me burn more calories. And as I burn more calories, it's important to put more calories in your body. I burned an extra probably 200 calories today than I did some of the other days. So as a result of that, I had a little bit more to eat today. So the more you work out, you want to balance it out. You don't want to starve yourself. Tomorrow is day 1 of week 4. That means I've been at this for 21 days now. I think what I'm going to do is once a month, I'm going to afford myself a cheat day. I apologize that these videos aren't very exciting yet. I'm going to try to do more short ones like the one I posted today about the rant about when you're walking. If I can find a rant every week, I will do a short rant video. I am half Italian, so ranting is in my genetics. If you've been coming here, if you've been following me, and you've been trying some of this stuff out yourself, I would love to hear from you in the comments. If the blog has helped you, leave a comment. If you think the blog is stupid, leave a comment. If you want to ask me any questions, by all means, ask in the comments. I'm an open book. I have nothing to hide. That about wraps it up for week 3 of Up the Peak. I will see you back here next week for weigh-in number 2. Let's see if I can break through the 380 barrier and enter into the 370s.